Some myths go all the way back to your grandfather's NFL days, when Red Grange was galloping on black and white screens. Our goal and yours is to get 3,000 likes. So grab your buffalo wings and blue cheese. Bill's Mafia knows what I'm talking about, and let's bust some NFL myths wide open. Sure, NFL players are impressive. They can catch a ball midair over a 300-pound linebacker and in front of a free safety who wants to take their head off. Sometimes those 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalties are worth it. But are they really the best athletes in the world? Let's pump the brakes on that one. Ever seen an Olympic sprinter like Usain Bolt? That guy could run a 40-yard dash that would make Tyreek Hill look slow. Though I'd pay to see that race, even if Bolt has retired. And don't get us started on soccer players who run for 90 minutes straight. They do take breaks to watch themselves flop around on the pitch for 5 minutes because someone looked at them wrong. They run an average of 7 miles per game, with the agility of a gymnast and the flopping skills of LeBron James. First myth, busted. While NFL players are elite, claiming they're the best athletes in the world is a bit of a Hail Mary. Let's talk about the big game that's practically an unofficial holiday, the Super Bowl. It's so massive that people who don't even like football show up for those chips and dip, tuning in for Doritos commercials and the J-Lo Shakira halftime show. Hips don't lie. It's a party with snacks and way too many dips. Look, don't be that guy who brings the unrecognizable dip next February. We're raising your standards. But let's put this into perspective. Ever heard of the World Cup? The 2018 World Cup final drew over 1.1 billion viewers worldwide. That's billion with a B. Meanwhile, the Super Bowl manages around 100 million viewers. And don't forget the Olympics, which reels in billions of viewers over a couple of weeks, even to watch the dressage. Yes, we used a big word, dressage. So while the Super Bowl is huge, calling it the most watched event globally is like calling your backyard barbecue a Michelin star restaurant. Myth busted. The Super Bowl is not the most watched global event. Let's talk about NFL players' salaries and where that money goes when you buy your $400 ticket in the nosebleeds. It's easy to imagine every player lounging in mansions and cruising in Mr. Beast's Lambos. But let's pop that myth like a bottle of Cristal. Sure, stars like Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers are swimming in cash like Scrooge McDuck. However, the average NFL salary is about $860,000. Which sounds fantastic until you realize the average career lasts just over 3 years. Now consider the practice squad players, who make around $200,000 a year. Not bad, but it's a far cry from living like a millionaire. Add in taxes, agent fees, and the temptation to splurge on a Rolex Coke watch, and suddenly that paycheck doesn't stretch as far as you'd think. By the way, you can Google Rolex Coke watch after you like and subscribe first. So here's the kicker. Not all NFL players are rolling in dough. Myth busted. All right, Tarzan, let's swing into the financial jungle that is the NFL. You might think owning an NFL team is like having a golden goose that lays diamond-encrusted eggs. But hold on to your overpriced stadium beer. Sure, teams rake in cash from ticket sales, merchandise, and those million-dollar ad spots. But let's break it down. Running an NFL team costs a fortune. Player salaries, staff wages, stadium upkeep, and let's not forget those hefty tax bills. And those fancy stadiums, they don't clean themselves. Some teams barely break even, despite charging $12 for a hot dog. Consider the fact that smaller market teams struggle to fill seats while the big kids like the Cowboys roll in dough like they've got a secret vault under the field, which they might. It's a financial roller coaster that makes the stock market look like a kiddie ride. Owning an NFL team isn't just printing money. Myth busted. NFL teams aren't all swimming in profits. They're more like tightrope walkers, balancing precariously, hoping they don't get steamrolled by Derrick Henry. Aren't we all? Let's tackle the saying, defense wins championships. Sure, a solid defense is crucial, but it's not the only route to the Lombardi Trophy. Recent Super Bowl winners like the Chiefs, led by Mahomes, lit up scoreboards with their explosive offense. The Rams also relied heavily on their offense to secure victory. Their defenses showed up, but it was the offensive fireworks that stole the show. And who could forget the 2018 Eagles? Foles and his offense outgunned Brady in a high-scoring affair. Defense is important, but so is racking up points. Of course, if you have the '85 Bears defense, that's different. But those monsters of the Midway don't come around often. Plus, NFL rules have changed to favor the offense, making it easier to score points and tougher to be a defensive powerhouse. So while you can't win with a Swiss cheese defense, saying defense wins championships is like saying only diet soda helps you lose weight. Myth busted. Hands up if you ever yelled at the TV about a bad call. Is there anything more frustrating than a loss blamed on the refs? We've all been there, so let's dive into the myth. The refs are out to get my team. Sure, there have been some controversial calls. Remember the infamous missed pass interference in the Saints-Rams NFC Championship? Or the Dez Bryant no-catch call? But let's not forget, these calls go both ways. Every team has benefited from a questionable call at some point. Even Mahomes and the Chiefs have had calls go against them. Referees have one of the toughest jobs in sports. They make split-second decisions with the likes of J.J. Watt barreling down on them. And with instant replay, their calls are scrutinized from about 10 different angles, and in a motion that's slower than Jason Kelce. So let's bust this myth. The refs aren't out to get your team. They're just doing their best in a thankless job, even if you're a 49ers fan. Sorry, no matter what you think of Vegas's influence, this myth is busted. Running backs. They take the punishment. They score the touchdowns. And according to some, their careers fizzle out faster than an undrafted rookie at training camp. But is this true? Let's tackle this myth. Sure, the average career length for running backs might be shorter, but there are plenty of exceptions. Look at Frank Gore, who played until he was practically old enough to coach. Or Adrian Peterson, still going strong way past the age most players retire. How about Emmitt Smith, racking up yards into his 30s? Or LaDainian Tomlinson? And what about LeGarrette Blount, scoring a touchdown at 31, basically ancient in running back years? Wait, is he using a walker? A lot comes down to coaching schemes and usage. Coaches like Sean Payton extend careers with balanced offensive approaches. Smart coaches manage workload, mixing running and passing plays to keep the legs fresh. So while the punishment may be real, running backs can defy the odds. Next time someone says a running back's career is on fumes, remind them, greatness knows no expiration date. Myth busted. Let's talk about one of the spookiest myths in the NFL, the Madden Curse. According to the legend, if you grace the cover of Madden, you're doomed for a bad season. But is this really true, or just a ghost story for gamers? The myth does have some basis in reality. Out of the 22 cover athletes from 2001 to 2024, 16 experienced significant performance declines or injuries following their appearance on the cover. Notable examples include Michael Vick and Rob Gronkowski, who faced major injuries post-cover. However, some players like Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady continue to perform at high levels, even winning Super Bowls. So while the Madden Curse has impacted many players, it's not an absolute. Some stars have dodged the curse and shined. Here's looking at you, Christian McCaffrey. Myth busted? Partially true, but not a guarantee. Here at Kickoff Zone, we shoot for honesty. Let's tackle the myth a star quarterback is all you need to win. Sure, having a top-tier QB makes a huge difference, but it's not the only key to victory. Look at recent Super Bowl champions. Yes, Tom Brady is amazing, but the Patriots' defense and special teams were crucial. Remember Adam Vinatieri's clutch last-second kicks? How about the 2017 Eagles? Nick Foles stepped up, but it was the team's overall performance, including the Philly special, that secured the win. Then there's the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 50. Peyton Manning was a legend, but Von Miller and the defense dominated, turning the game into their personal sack party. Miller was so dominant he won the MVP when it's usually handed right to the QB. Cam Newton still here in footsteps. Football is the ultimate team sport. No doubt a star quarterback helps, but you need a strong defense, a solid offensive line, and reliable special teams to hoist the Lombardi Trophy. So while QBs get the spotlight, remember it takes a team to win. Myth busted. All right, folks, we've saved the best for last. Drum roll, please. The NFL is scripted. Yes, some people believe the NFL is as pre-planned as a Hollywood blockbuster. Let's break this down. If the NFL were scripted, it would be the greatest secret ever kept. Sure, there are dramatic comebacks and underdog stories that seem too good to be true, but that's the beauty of sports. Think about it. Do you really think players like Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes are memorizing lines instead of playbooks? And those blown calls by referees? Not even the best screenwriters could come up with that level of drama. Players laugh off this myth, and rightly so. The NFL's unpredictability is what makes it exciting. If it were scripted, would your team's last-minute fumble feel as crushing? So while it may be fun to imagine the NFL as one big soap opera, the truth is the only script is the one written on the field. Myth busted. We've busted myths left and right. Football is unpredictable, exhilarating, and real. It's about the moments, the last-second touchdowns, game-changing interceptions, and those nail-biting ref calls. Remember, critical thinking is key when it comes to sports myths. If you enjoyed debunking these myths with us, like, subscribe, and share this video. We can't get to 3,000 likes without you. Stay tuned to Kickoff Zone.